Hey guys, what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Clash Royale. Today, I hope this video finds you all doing well. Hope you're having a great week so far. I am right now, when you're watching this, probably most likely in the air heading toward Finland. But this morning, if we rewind a few hours, play some time games here, I found a deck that I'm finally comfortable sharing with you guys as far as my favorite ladder deck, and it includes my very favorite card. Now, every single day I've been checking Statsroyale.com as well as the TV Royale in Arena 11, seeing what the top 200 players are using, especially keeping an eye out for my favorite card, the Ice Wizard. Ice Wizard got that buff. I like the buff, but his usage rates have been kind of funky. Right when he got the buff, he saw a big spike in usage rates, and then it kind of went down again. Not to where it was before the buff, but it went down quite a bit. What that tells me is that people probably tried to use him after the buff, and they just found to themselves, hey, I'd rather have Archers or Musketeer or E-Wiz, right? E-Wiz is everywhere, than the Ice Wizard. So I've been trying out decks almost on a daily basis with the Ice Wizard until I finally felt comfortable enough with one to share with you guys. Finally, today, this morning, I found that deck, and it is a weird one being played here by Flex on TV Royale. Now, I gotta say, after I saw him using the Ice Wizard in this deck, I almost didn't even give it a try, because I thought that having the Tombstone, the Tornado, and the Rocket with the Ice Wizard and the Hog, I just didn't like the deck per se at first glance. You have the Log, you don't have the Zap, you have no Inferno Tower reset, not that you really need it in a Hog deck, but you don't have that immediate Zap damage with the Log. You have the Tombstone and the Tornado. How are you supposed to play those together? You don't normally see decks running a defensive structure and Tornado. It's usually one or the other. However, man, I've been loving this deck. I gave it a try. I lost my first match with it, and then I went on an epic win streak with the deck with a few draws mixed in. So, man, now I'm like, I gotta share this deck with my subscribers. You guys have been asking for an Ice Wizard deck. I tried to promise you guys, or tried to. That's a nice little Freudian slip. I tried to promise you guys. Tried to. You don't try to promise, you promise. I promised you guys I'd bring you an Ice Wizard deck after the buff, and I've been looking, guys. I just couldn't find one. Now, I love this deck. Let's talk a little bit about why, and we'll just do a play-by-play reviewing these matches. So my opponent here playing a max Lavaloon deck. He does not know I have Rocket, doesn't suspect it, sees the Hog right off the bat. I am aggressive early on, kind of copying Flex, what he did in his match. So he probably thinks I have Fireball, maybe even a Hog Lightning. You know, there is Hog Rocket decks out there, but sometimes the opponent will play the pump behind the tower, thinking they're pretty safe against Hog Cycle. So they played the pump there, giving me tremendous Rocket value. I'll go ahead and take that value, and then I'll send the Hog directly into the Lava Hound here in the right lane. So here comes the first big push. You're going to see how I defend with this deck. I got to tell you guys, against beatdown especially, Hog decks already do well. This deck is really, really strong, especially given that you only have the Mega Minion and the Ice Wizard to rely on defensively. This deck cycles fast, guys, so you're able to cycle back to multiple Ice Wizards and multiple Mega Minions. And here the Balloon does get a hit on my tower, but I defended pretty well considering it was a Baby Dragon, Mega Minion, Lava Hound, and Balloon all coming at me in the right lane, and I decided to get a little bit of a counter push going on right now. This is actually going to take the tower down. He was a little late on the Goblin Gang, so now I feel like I'm in the driver's seat here. I can still apply pressure to the left lane and defend in the right. Even if he ends up getting my right tower, hopefully I'll be able to pick up enough of a lead there. So he does get the lock on with the Baby Dragon onto my right tower. I decide to drop the Tombstone to keep that Mega Minion at bay, and in this deck, or excuse me, against this matchup, he makes a big mistake there, dropping the elixir pump behind the tower that he knew I had the Rocket there. But I knew he had the Goblin Gang. He didn't play it, so a bad prediction log there. But you can see here the power of the Tornado. I'm going to be using my Tombstone to distract the Balloon or even the Mega Minion as I did earlier. On top of that, I'm going to be using the Tornado after the Lava Hound dies. You'll see how I use the Tornado in different matchups as we progress throughout this video. So very easy here. I mean, the baby dragon's not doing much damage. I'm just gonna go ahead and send in another hog. Might as well here. Waiting for him to drop a balloon or something else to support this push. He does not opt to do that, so I just use one final tornado, and even though both of my towers are pretty low on HP, his other tower was really low as well. End up getting the relatively easy victory. Now let's watch a matchup against a golem deck, because man, this deck wrecks beatdown decks. A giant deck, forget it. A golem deck, forget it. Lavaloon, very easy, especially considering, again, we only have the Mega Minion and the Ice Wizard. But with the fast cycle and the rocket in the deck, we have a lot of options. We can apply pressure just like you would a normal hog deck after they drop their big tank, or we can go ahead and play defense and cycle our defensive cards. So here we go. He counters my hog with the lumberjack. Of course, against the lumberjack, guys, all you need is a tombstone to defend. Don't have to over defend it. So I want to see what he does next. He opts to play a golem in the back. Pretty early for the golem there, but I'm going to go ahead and defend this really well. I'm going to start out with the ice wizard and then the mega minion. He's going to lightning my ice wizard and my mega minion. While he's doing that, I'm going to send in the hog and the skeletons in the opposite lane, basically forcing him to have to defend the hog. In the meanwhile, he has nothing to support his golem over here. So I'll just use a tombstone, and then I'll put an ice wizard in the back just in case he decides to support this golem. So the golem dies, ice wizard's doing work right in front of the king tower. Things are looking really nice right now. At this point, I'm a little bit worried about that archer getting too much damage, but she only gets 2 or 3 arrows, 2 or 3 arrows on that tower, so we're good. Again, he doesn't know that I have the rocket. There it is. He laughs. I give the thumbs up. That's a rocket value there. So again, we're getting damage on the right and the left tower here, and you know, he's done a little bit of chip damage to my right tower, but nothing to write home about. Of course, we do have the advantage with this deck in the first 2 minutes, and then he has the advantage moving into double elixir time. So we have to keep that in mind. We want to make sure we keep the pressure up. He opts to drop another golem. I opt to drop a hog rider. He's not going to defend this. He wants to get a big monster push going in the right instead. He feels like he needs to take a tower. I'm going to go ahead and rocket this night witch here. Because he didn't defend, I know he's going to come at me with a lot here, but that's where the tornado can really shine. So lumberjack, archers, bats, and that's coming at me right now. Now a goblin gang. I'm waiting for the goblin gang, and then I'm going to group everything up together and allow the ice wizard to do some splash damage. You can see, very, very good job here defending. I actually used the tombstone as well as the tornado there to get the golem away from my tower, buy me a little bit more time. I cycle all the way back to tornado, and I use it to keep that night witch off my tower. Maybe that was an unnecessary tornado in hindsight. I might have over-defended a little bit there. I thought he would play goblin gang again. He predicted my log, and then I still get a few hits off the tower, though. So again here, he's using lightning very aggressively. It doesn't really matter if he takes the right tower, though, because his right tower is down to 78 HP. You guys are going to love this deck. I can't wait till you give it a shot. It's nice too, if you don't have log, you can just sub in zap and you'll still be all right with the deck. The log is actually pretty good in this deck. As you can see, I'm running into a lot of skeleton. I'm still doing it, guys. I'm still doing it. I'm still calling Skeleton Army Goblin Gang and Goblin Gang Skeleton Army. The 2 cards have nothing to do with one another except for that they're both swarm and they cost 3. Even the rarities are far off in the epic, in the common. I don't know, guys. I just don't know. Anyway, next match against Hog Cycle, classic Hog Cycle deck. So I send in this. I'm always going to send in the skeletons with the Hog Rider because of that very reason. If my opponent has a tornado, my skeletons will still get some chip damage off his tower. I opt to use a tornado, but I can't activate my king tower there because he has a knight blocking the way for the Hog Rider. So instead, I'm just able to defend with the combo of Mega Minion and Ice Wizard. Now remember the last match when my opponent used lightning against the Mega Minion tower and Ice Wizard? I mean, that's great value and he should have done that, but it's okay for me because it's still a 6 for 6 trade. I'm still losing the 3 Ice Wizard and the 3 Mega Minion, and that's part of the beauty of having these relatively cheap defensive cards. I'm not so susceptible to lightning as I would if I had like an Executioner and an E-Wiz or something like that. That would be tremendous value off of lightning. So I like having this cheap combo. It keeps my deck cycling at the same time. It provides me not so much of a value, or not so much giving up such a value trade to my opponent. You guys saw there, I opted to use a rocket solo on the tower. I have noticed I've been doing that here and there if I have the positive elixir lead. You know, it's chip damage, or it's more than chip damage, it's a lot of damage, and if I have the elixir lead, this deck defends really, really well. So giving that a little bit early there on those skeletons, but so throwing down the rocket against, or a rocket that provides any sort of value against a tower, to me, it's not something that I'm super, super cautious of doing, because if I have the lead, again, guys. So here comes the solo Hog. I made a mistake here, guys. Even though he doesn't get a swing on my tower, by the way, a Tornado and an Ice Wizard can shut a Hog down even if the King Tower isn't activated. But there I forgot that my first Tornado wasn't used to activate my tower, so I pulled him to where I would normally if the King Tower wasn't activated. So a mistake there by me. So I send in the Mega Minion to distract this Musketeer, and then I just Tornado everything together. It's okay. He gets a nice little value log there, but it's a little bit, excuse me, Fireball, but it's a little bit too late on his part, unfortunately. Just able to get some nice counter pushes here after I defend, and again, against a Hog deck, against a beatdown deck, against a Battle Ram deck, I have a lot of answers here because I have the Tornado, I have the defensive Rocket. Look at that, guys. Tornado and Rocket, right? That whole push was shut down. Forget it, right? So I love the deck. It feels like every card, and this is why I like the deck. I should have said this at the beginning of the video. It feels like every card has a clear purpose. It's not, you know, for a dummy like me, for a dummy like me, you know, I like every card to serve a very concrete purpose. When you give me a deck with like 8 cards that can, every card has like 2 or 3 purposes in the deck, I start to get a little confused at what the best play is. But here it's pretty obvious. I mean, oftentimes on defense, you're gonna be Tornado and Ice Wizard, or Mega Minion against a tank. It's really basic here. I want to show you this last replay because Mr. Stone here was a really good player. He didn't really make any big mistakes throughout this match. However, I want to show you again how easily this deck shuts down big pushes. So here we go. It's coming. He's coming down with the Golem, the Minions, and the Bats. I'm able to easily shut it down just using a couple Ice Wizards. I cycle back to the second one there, and at this point, I see that the Golemite is close to full health. So I opt to pull him to my King Tower. Now, it doesn't matter if he hits your King Tower because a Golemite still does death damage, okay? So I took advantage of that there. As long as he dies near my King Tower, I will get the activation. So now I have the activation on my King Tower. Now, of course, against a Golem deck, that's not incredibly valuable, but you might as well take it for 3 elixir. I think it's a worthwhile trade personally. So here we go again, rinse and repeat, right? You can see, by the way, guys, he hasn't done any damage, really, to my left tower at all. So, at this point, I'm going to put the Ice Wizard down there. I know I have Tornado ready, so I'm just going to be patient, make sure he unleashes everything that he has in his arsenal. He does, so again, I'm able to defend, really getting no damage onto my left tower, and the King Tower is even helping clean up those Golemites now. So, at this point, I don't have a ton of damage going into double elixir time, so I'm a little bit worried about that. But at this point, also, and that... You can see me drop a wow. I just wasn't ready. I forgot that the 3 Musketeer deck was going around. I should have known because even the replay that we saw at the beginning of this on TV Royale was against one of these decks. So here, I'm going to have to do some dexterous defense here. So I didn't use the Rocket. Instead, I opted to basically use everything else I had. Mega Minion, Ice Wizard, and Log, and then I even Tornado to try to mitigate some of the damage on that right tower. It actually works out okay, though. So at this point, I'm thinking, okay, he's dropping a golem. He's going all out on the right lane. That's okay. I'll get 2 more swings of the hog. Okay, make that 1. And then we'll just go ahead and rinse and repeat here. So again, there goes the tombstone. I'm going to drop the Ice Wiz on the opposite side of the tower. I'm not super concerned with the 3 musketeers at this point. I'm going to go ahead and just rocket that whole left side and then just play some skeletons, because remember, guys, I can afford to take some serious damage on that left tower. I'm just going to ignore the barbarians, or the barbarian now, and you can see with the king tower helping out, that activation actually ended up coming to pay dividends towards the end of the match here. So he does get some serious damage on my right tower here. I'm able to just go ahead and log this goblin gang. He's applying some serious pressure, and if you look at it right now, I don't think that I have the advantage here. We are in only 40 seconds left in this match, but look at that. That Ice Wiz and Hog both getting 1 hit, even though he actually had, I'm forced to tornado again here. I tornado and I use my tombstone there. Even though he has the advantage late in the game here, I know if I can get a little bit of chip damage and defend just even semi-well, I can go ahead and cycle a rocket and a log, and that's exactly what I do here, pull out the victory. So guys, I hope you have success with this deck. I love the Ice Wizard. Now he just needs his welcome to the arena video. Supercell, you guys know what to do. You have the big bucks. Hire that production company and get the Ice Wizard an after the fact welcome to the arena video. Come on, guys. You know it's the right thing to do. Do right by your Ice Wizard. So guys, I just want to give a huge shout out to Bren Chong, my YouTube partner. Make sure you check him out in the information below. Great guy, does a lot for the community. Give him a follow and give him a thank you for sponsoring all these leagues and all the stuff that he does behind the scenes. So guys, thanks so much for watching, and as always, take care, guys.